In one of my last entries, I talked about mid-century moderns and some of the design aspects of it, and I wanted to go back to that for a minute. And I flipped the view here about 45 degrees so you can see a little bit more of what's going on. Again, kind of looking, design quiz, pop quiz, going back to some of the mid-century stuff, the high ceilings with the clear stories up here, and again, this is just the bottom of the clear stories. It goes up another 4 feet above that. And you can't really see the post and beam in here. You can see the dining room again drops back to a normal flat 8-foot ceiling with no post and beams in it. But you have the step-down living room in it and these walls of glass, and kind of complete wall of glass in the dining room, and 4 panels of sliding doors in the living room back here. But I wanted to go to, we were talking about how some people think with a mid-century modern you furnish it with 50s and 60s type things and you live in that total genre. The only thing that I have in here that I really consider from the 60s or the look of the 60s is the shag carpets that are in here, like in the dining room, and I have one in the living room that matches it. But everything else is really kind of non-period, and it kind of surprises people a little bit, the other stuff that's in here. Yes, I admit it's full of architectural icons in here, and everybody laughs at that because it's, you know, just kind of screams your stereotypical architectural accessories that are in here. These chairs are commonly called Wassily chairs, or you hear a lot of different names for them, but they were actually done for an artist, Wassily Kandinsky, by Marcel Breuer in 1925. Obviously these are, sorry, 1928. These are obviously cheap reproductions of it, but I've had them about 35 years now, so even the cheap reproductions have stood the test of time. The lounger over in the corner is kind of another staple, which is a Corbu lounger, which was done by Corbusier in 1925. And you'll see different versions of that with pony skin on it and leather. Beside that, you can just barely see there's a little glass side table. It's called an Eileen Gray side table, which was done again around 1923, 25. They were all kind of done around the Baja type feel, and I always think it's interesting because if you took these and you took a car from that period, from the mid-20s, and put beside it, there's this huge contrast in styles about how streamlined the furniture is and the chrome on the furniture, and then you look at a 1925 car and it's very different. It seems like the car design really didn't catch up with some of these things until the 60s or the 70s actually. But you know, other things, you know, like I said, it's a complete mix in here. The ceiling, I hate, don't even bring up the ceiling. That was in the original house. That is actually a lot of moldings that are on the ceiling, and where the shag carpet is now, there was actually a custom-made carpet that looked exactly like the ceiling on the floor, which I stripped out, and there were heavy drapes on the windows. Somebody had tried to make this a quasi-colonial house, and that's why I say if you have a mid-century, don't do that. Don't screw with it and try to make a colonial out of it. It just doesn't work. The whole little banding of the ceiling just doesn't work with the mid-century, and again, one of these days when I'm truly sick of it, I'll rip it out. But you know, it's again, it's kind of a mix of things, but because the basic house is clean, contemporary lines and open, you can pretty much put anything with it. You know, it's kind of interesting too, if you notice, I never sit in these chairs straight on. I don't think anybody ever sits in a chair like this unless you're in somebody's lobby waiting for an interview. They tend to lend themselves to more casual seating. So anyway, that's just another just quick, brief sidelight of some mid-century stuff and the spaces within it. One of these days we'll go outside and look around, but That's all for now.
Later.